So I want to explain how this non-discretionary bonus is going to work. So a non-discretionary bonus is best defined as a performance bonus. So in other words, they're telling you if you sell X number of pallets, you'll get a reward. So what that means is it's a this for that. And when you get those types of things, if you're a non-exempt employee, you're basically going to be due extra overtime if you earn non-discretionary bonuses in a period where you actually work overtime. So I want to kind of break this down. So the earning period just happens to be in March, and they basically set it forth in the contract for you on just weekdays, so Monday through Friday. So I'm assuming your pay period is going to be from Sunday the 3rd to Saturday the 16th. I'm just going to assume that's how they work it. But when calculating overtime, they look at it in work weeks, which is basically a 7 consecutive day period. So this might be your first work week, and this might be your second work week. And I'm making these assumptions just based on what I just read. So what I did is I broke down 2 examples. So the first one is week 1, where you worked 45 hours. This is just making fake numbers, and you sold 15 pallets. And then the next week you sold 11 pallets and worked 41 hours. So I want to work some math for you real quick, just so you know how this works. So let's just say, for sake of argument, you work 45 hours and your hourly rate is $18 an hour. So can't do math that quick. So 45 times 18 is 810 in wages. Now, if you sold 15 pallets that week, we know that 15 pallets times 30 equals this much. It's $450. Now, what they have to do is they have to add it into your total compensation. All right, so this is total comp. Now, what they have to do at that moment is do the following formula, and this is done in the background. You don't see this breakdown, but this is how it works. So what I would do is I would take and figure out what your regular rate of pay is. So I would take 1260 and divide it by 45 hours. And your average hourly rate would be $28 an hour. So clearly above minimum wage. So that's good. Now, the next thing I would do is I would figure out what your overtime premium rate would be. So basically, you're already paid all the time for your 45 hours. So now we have to figure out the half portion because you clearly worked 5 hours overtime. So I take $28 an hour times 0.50, because that's the half portion, and we should get $14. Now your overtime premium is where we take the 5 hours times 14 to give an additional $70. Now your total gross wages just for this work week, we're going to add together that 70 and this to get your total gross wages for that work week, which would be $13.30. And that's just for this one up above. So in short, when you have a non-discretionary bonus and you're eligible for it and you work overtime, you're due additional compensation. So in other words, you're due an additional $70 because you worked overtime. Now, if you don't work any overtime, then you won't have any additional overtime premium. But the fact of the matter is if you work over 40 hours, you'll get additional incentive pay because that's how this works. in accordance with non-discretionary bonuses and overtime. Since you're non-exempt, that's how it's going to work. Now, I could break down this one up above, but I think you get the point. So I hope this helps.